skylight, I can see the sunroof. Yeah, pretty good. Raven. Oh, Raven McKenzie has returned. She's like Halley's Comet. She was on a 4-year orbit or so. Oh, there you are. No, that's good, Raven. You don't look like you were burned by the sun, so that's good. We always, after a while, we have to report missing people. I don't see someone and I remember, hey, what happened to them? We put out a missing person. We check the obvious places like Rupert Spira and Ajashanti or something. Find out where the hell they are. Oh, to be a missing person. Realize the person has been missing this whole time. That's pretty sweet. I like to report a missing person. They're right here, but no one misses them. He's right here, but yeah, no one misses the missing person. You know, years and years ago, I went on the internet, I just looked up missing persons. Yeah, and murders for some reason. And it was amazing how many missing persons there are running around America. And then, you know, because you've watched cop shows when you were a kid and you assume that most murders get solved, but at that time it was 1 out of 3. So 2 out of 3 murders never get solved. So wow, it was strange, eh? But the missing person thing's amazing.
Thank you for letting me know the odds got better.
The odds got better. Yes, yes. It's going up, grading up. Yeah, so. But it's funny, there's so many preconceived ideas that drop in that you just assume things. Yeah. You assume things that most people would be punished by killing someone. And they are, obviously, if they feel they're the doer, they must feel fucking shitty. But a lot of times the authorities don't catch them or anything. Yeah. Makes you ponder new possibilities. Could I really get away with it? Maybe.
Paul,
Yes, sorry. Yes?
did you figure out how to say my name yet?
No, I'm just gonna go with Al Gerdas.
It's Al Gertis.
Al Gertis, all right. Al Gertis.
It's like that, or Al is even easier. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Now, if you were in New York, the emphasis would be on Al Gertis. Al Gertis. Yeah.
It's
Mauro.
a Lithuanian.
Lithuanian. Wow.
Hey, Paul.
Oh, there's a new. She's down here. Oh. Yes, she is. Nice to see you, Anu. Yeah. She's like a spring flower that blooms, but like every month.
You're embarrassing me, Paul.
Hmm?
It's good to see you too.
Some beautiful things are blooming now. Yeah, the daffodils and a number of things, tulips. When I was after I got run over by the car, I was in a hospital for quite a while. And, you know, you would go into get an operation and they were rather long, and then you'd come back and, you know, obviously not there, and then waking up. And this one time I woke up and I bent my head to the right, and my friend had brought all these yellow daffodils. that was sort of hanging. I was thinking they were hanging towards me, but that could have been just manufactured. But it had a very powerful impact. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm fond of daffodils. Anyone? Oh, we have some, anyone new here, just let us know. We got to check your papers and stuff. Yeah. Kathleen, check out. I have some, Sarah and Charles look very suspicious. I don't know. Check them out. Get their names, look up. Yeah, yeah. Frank from Tucson, I know yeah.
I'm a
he's-
person of interest, yes, I know.
You're a person of interest, yes. Raven, we want to know, we want to have a specific report, what the hell you've been doing all these years, yes? Yes. Stephen Mack on having never left, we know what's going on with him. Cam, nice to see you. He's usually stretching or something. Yeah, stretching, using the time well. Why not just stretch while listening to satsang? Yeah, exactly. Rick Rowe, we have actually, we're gonna put an app out, what stretching exercises to do in satsang. So Cam, I'm hoping you'll be the first one. And you can be, we're gonna use you as the illustration, yeah? I'll send you the exercises, we'll film you like here, and there you go. Yeah. You're gonna get nothing from the satsang, at least you should stretch, eh? You get a little muscle relaxing. Yeah. Judy Love has entered the stage. Nice to see you, Judy. We got Ellen Bennett, formerly or AKA Hari. Yeah. She's come out into the light from a dark retreat. We got Laurie in India. Oh, nice to see you, Laurie. Yeah. Chris H. I miss both. Who was the one who was Brahma? Was it Brahmi that was here for us for a while, years? And then we had the other lady, Sandra, I think, from Tiruvannamalai. John in Florida. Okay, I guess we could start. It's a little late. Again, Laurie or anyone, if you're new and if you have anything you'd like to ask, put your hand up and let's start. If not, you're probably familiar with non-duality, but there's a lot of different sort of expressions of non-duality. Ours is really just not two. And before we entertain that everything is this or whatever, we want to see what's holding or claiming that statement may not be you. Yeah, and I found when I went to satsangs in a certain period, I felt something was rather important, and it wasn't being emphasized. And I read Ramana's stuff, and Ramana Maharshi. Different people wrote about his teachings, but in those different writings, there would be a lot of similarity because he would emphasize certain things with the greatest or the problem or whatever. And it meant to, like in some books, they put it in italic when it's important, in that case. And one of the things that really got me, because I felt it already, which was, he said, like the first basic conception from the head's point of view is that it presupposes the non-existent thing, which this is, by the way. The body is a non-existent thing. Yeah. When seeming existence leaves it, a lot of people are left with a non-existent thing, like families or the state, and they got to either bury it or burn it. Yes, but the thing hangs around in the world of things, but something's split. Yeah. So he said the non-existent thing, which I feel was referencing the body, the presupposing of that to be an existent thing. Yeah. How could that possibly happen? Well, there's a mistake. So the head reacts to the situation, mistakes existence, or let's call it consciousness, as an attribute that the non-existent thing has. Yes? So the head, when it gets triggered and it happens in time, it's not before anything. The head comes after a lot of stuff. Yeah? So when it comes after, it presupposes this idea before. Before what? Before the non-existent thing. And it makes a switcheroo, and now it says we start as an existent thing. Yeah? Yeah? And in a way, it says the thing is what's existing. Which in other views, the thing is an appearance in what is. It's not what is appearing in a way. The appearance is in what is, yeah, the body. So the presupposing, which means there's an assumption, but that assumption is pre-assumed, yes? So it has a tricky move that it can only do in time, yeah? So it happens after, but it's presupposed to be before. So the starting point is a non-existent thing, and then there's the idea that that is an existent thing, and that idea is presupposed before the non-existent thing. So when you wake up, seemingly in the non-existent thing, you call it you, yes? So now the non-existent thing is presupposed to be the existent thing, and that existent thing is called you or I or me. And then that existing thing wants to get salvation. Yes? And this is how it explains the flaw, FLAW, I think that's the way you say it, the flaw in spiritual seeking. It says your spiritual practices themselves are reinforcing this presupposing. How can they destroy it? Yes? So the head is using the spiritual practice to reinforce this presupposing, not to extinguish it or to wake up from it, but actually to wake up as it. Yes? Yes? So now the non-existent thing taken to be the existent thing is now looking for salvation for itself, when the salvation is really from the non-existent thing. That doesn't mean the non-existent thing disappears. It means you don't take it as seriously as you once did. Yes? And I'll tell you something. The body itself, as a non-existent thing, does better when it's not taken too seriously. Yeah. How many people get ill because they want to be healthy? Yeah. And the head gets so crazy with the idea that it's about health. I'm just a sentinel all day to see what's happening in my intestine. And you're actually fostering the disease that you want to avoid. Well, that's mimicking the original little move. Yeah. So our trying to get out of something is reinforcing that we're in the something. And it doesn't work if what you do is reinforcing it. So negation is the key in a sense. So that which you see it as not you. You don't try to see as that you see it as not you. And then it breaks that that repetition of constantly trying to use something to get out of the something that's being used. Yes? We have it in recovery. It's a beautiful statement. People get washed up, and let's say finally they come into recovery, and some people go into the 12-step programs, and in the 12-step program, and it's a 12-step program. It's tailored for an action figure in this world that we're this dreaming. And it's a linear process. And the most important thing in this linear process, other than stop drinking to begin with, and that importance just drops. As soon as you stop drinking, it's not that important. It is to stop playing God. Wow. So just to give you a simple example of what's playing God, when you wake up in the morning and your head tells you how the day's going to be, that's playing God. Yeah. Yeah. When it's on Monday, 2025 on March, and it's telling you how it's going to be that December 25th, 8 months or 9 months away, that's playing God. When it tells you how you are, how you're going to be, how you were, that's playing God. So and this is, I walked in there in the bondage of self. Yeah. I believed I was an existing thing. I did. Yeah. And that existing thing, the head that reinforced that idea was playing God. Now, I couldn't see the difference of its playing God and me playing God. So when I heard you got to quit playing God, it seemed like another thing I was going to fail at. Yeah. Because I didn't seem to have much control over the head that was playing God. But it didn't take long. Something was revealed to me, which is I'm not that which is playing God. Yeah. And because there's a fundamental failure, because if that which is playing God tries to quit playing God, that's playing God ad infinitum. Yes. So there's no point that's going to work. It's not going to work because you do it more, or you do it in another way, or you call yourself another God. It's not going to work. Yeah. So what is quit playing God to me is losing interest in that which is playing God. And I think the key to losing interest in that which is playing God is to see it's not you. Yeah. Because I've noticed in life, I may be keen on hearing a conversation in another room, but as soon as I hear it's not about me, I lose interest in it completely. Yes? As long as I'm interested in it, you can put a book in front of me saying how to lose interest in a conversation in another room. I'll understand it, but I can't, because my head thinks it's very important to find out if that girl likes me. Yeah. So you can try to pull me away or shame me. You should be right here in this room. Yes, I know. But I want to know what she says, because if she says I like Paul, I'm going to run into her at the coffee thing. And, oh, by the way, would you like to share a spiritual meeting with me or something? so there, as soon as I hear it's not about me, I lose interest. There's no effort. It just, first forget it. Why not apply it here? It's not you applying it, just see it. If you're not the me that it's all about, you'll lose interest in the all about. Yeah, you will. And what's going to happen? I don't know. Instead of being fed like a very small rabbit hole of myopic viewing, you may, that same window may open up into a panoramic view. Yes. Yeah. I wouldn't want to describe anything. It's better for you to find out. It is. Because if you hear a description, the head is going to conceive of what that's going to look like, and you're going to miss the delivery in a way. You are, because you're going to think the deliverer or the delivered is going to have to look different or be in a different condition. Yeah, because most people really, I believe, in the spiritual thing are putting their condition ahead of the inherent condition. And they believe they can't meet the inherent condition unless their condition is in a certain condition. I would call that playing God. I would. When I see that, that looks like playing God to me. That the infinite condition of nothing, your sense or access to it is based on your condition. That sounds like playing God. I would think that which is the beginning and end of all things has no requirement to be what it is. It's readily available at all times, right where you are. But I have to purify first or something. There's always going to be requirements, and then you're going to get disqualified if you do something stupid. I cannot possibly give a talk because I was mad at someone at 4:30. Thank God I've never really thought I'd do a talk. And it obviously shows because there's no preparation. And so it's so beautiful. So be the presupposing of the non-existent thing as being an existent thing. That's where we're living from, yes? You didn't do it. You have nothing to do with it except that you're conscious of it in a lot of levels, yeah? So it says, and then your spiritual practices themselves are reinforcing it. How can they destroy it? It's a very nice question to ask. Yeah. So this is why I felt like Ramana, when he came out of silence, he assumed that presence would generate the message, but it didn't, and he had to talk. So the first thing he did, he pulled out "Who am I" out of the Vedas. And he said, self-inquiry is the only, if you want a way, the only way would be self-inquiry. Yeah. To inquire in the origin, inquiring the origin of the misery, which is the act of being identified as something that you're not. Yeah. Now, you're not in that act, but we are going along with the act. The head is in the act of being identified as something else. Yeah. And the head's whole system is to reinforce that. And like the Course in Miracles catches it very well, where it says, you've got to remember this. The brain interprets to the body of which it is a part. Yeah. So you are getting a download, not a download. You're in like a news bandwidth that has a predetermined bias, which is you're a body. And the spin is always about that. And the only thing you can do then is to try to become spiritual. Yeah. That's a Herculean task. To make a thing a no thing. I just it's going to be like first there is the mountain, then there is no mountain, then there is the mountain again. So first there is the thing, and then you work super hard with hyperventilating or whatever. Then there is no thing, woo! And then there's going to be the thing inevitably again, and you're going to be super frustrated. And what are you going to do? More, more of it. Well, we're saying the first there is no mountain. Like Ramana said, first there is a non-existent thing, then there's an appearance of the existent thing, and then there's a drive to get relief from the appearance of the existent thing. And if you try to do that as the existent thing, it may work temporarily, but inevitably it's going to appear again. Yes? Yes. But if it starts with there is no existent thing, then when the existent thing appears, you may not want to try to become a non-existent thing as much. And then you won't be frustrated when that system just keeps regrouping. So you can have an incredible, massive epiphany. And it usually ends when the head is saying, I'm having an epiphany. And at that point, it just neutered the epiphany like that. And peak experience galores come and go. And because the premise is the one that claims the escape from the premise, yeah? So it goes to such an absurd length unless you see it that you want to be a non-self as a self. Yeah. Now that's awesome if you see it from outside of it, because to me, the greatest successes are failures. Yeah. If you fail enough times trying to get out of yourself, maybe you realize you're not in it. Yeah, hopefully. If you realize that you're not in it, it made all those failures of trying to get out of it worthwhile, because there was value. Value reigned upon thee through the failing. Yes? Yes. Why do saviors fail? Because there's no one to be saved. Yes? That's why. Do you ever see that Matrix movie? I don't know, the second or third one, when Neo has fortified his identity as the savior, and he's looking pretty cool with the leather coat and the Ray-Bans, and he comes upon another manifestation of the mainframe, and it calls itself the architect, and he meets it in this room, and the room has all these little old TVs with pictures of Neo in action mode, you know, doing tons of things, but never, his glasses never fall off, and his hair looks beautiful. Yeah, and so he's talking to the guy, and Neo obviously thinks he's the savior. Yeah, and then the guy goes, "Oh, Neo, the new savior," and he goes, "Oh yeah, a long time ago there was a savior. There was a little aberration called the savior, but the program just sucked it up, and now you're number 7. You're the 7th savior." The last 6 haven't done shit, and you're not going to do shit. That would be a great value if you realize you are that which you've been looking for. Yeah. All the failings and looking for it will lead you to that point. And the non-duality understanding is just trying to speed it up. That's all. It's just trying to save you time in a lot of ways. Yeah. Because either you're going to learn the hard way or the easy way. You can learn in satsang, or you can learn in having your life reviewed through the lens of non-duality. Yeah. But basically, it's always going to be the failure that is the great success, because that looking for it is an act of denial of not being it. Yes. He says it also as the greatest mystery, Ramana. And I'm telling you, if someone of his stature would say the greatest mystery, I would listen to it. Yeah. Yeah. The greatest mystery being ourselves reality. Wow. So, greatest mystery, and then all our unique stories just get chopped at the ankle, being ourselves reality. Not that we were reality and we somehow did something called a mortal sin and split from the Godhead, or we're going to be reality if we get our conditional act together and purify whatever, get super clear, whatever it is. But being ourselves reality, no matter what condition you seem to be right now. Yes, the ones that come and go, this and that. Not one of them has the ability to disqualify you from the original condition. Yes, or the condition. Yeah, and what is that? Being ourselves reality from a great master. Right? Being ourselves reality, the greatest mystery is reality wanting to attain reality. Yeah. And then he says in another passage, the only requirement is to realize the unreal from the real. So this is what we do at these talks, basically. All we describe is the unreal that most of us are taking to be real. That's all we're doing. And we have great faith that describing the unreal will trigger a sense of hearing it from what is real. Yeah. Instead of trying to get the unreal to understand the real, we're trying to understand the unreal from the real. Yes. Because no matter where you are or what you think is going on, you are being yourself or being reality right now. Yeah. And really, if I look at this Zoom and there was a direction of the message, it would be to avoid you as the body. Yeah. To go over your head, around you, and stuff like that, because in a sense, that is the obstacle. Yeah. Because that doesn't know it's being itself reality. It thinks it's being itself reality. It does. Yeah. But it isn't the reality it's being. Yeah. So it's a beautiful ruler in a sense when you hear the statement, being ourselves reality, the greatest mystery would be reality wanting to attain reality. Well, are you wanting to attain reality? And whatever in you is doing that is not you. Yes? Because being ourselves reality, that is the greatest mystery, that that thing keeps fucking trying to become reality. Yeah, all the while being ourselves reality. So that being ourselves reality disqualifies that from being ourselves reality. Yes? Because it keeps looking for reality. Now, I don't believe you need to convince it of anything. I believe you could just lose interest in it, and it's because we have it in recovery, a great statement, well learned by tons of people in our community, and that is self can't get out of self. Yeah. So you can talk to self till you're blue in the face, and it's still going to keep trying to get out of self. It just so the non-existent thing seen as the existent thing is going to keep trying to get out of shit. That's what it's going to do. But as the existent thing. Yeah. I've learned the hard way. There's no, that program is preset and it doesn't have any AI. It's programmed, and it just, if one vehicle doesn't work, it just gets on another vehicle. It just keeps trying it. So the beautiful thing is you're not that. Yeah. And if you want to, you know what I would love? I would love to have a constant reminder of what I'm not. Well, there you go. All the activity ahead is a reminder of what you're not all freaking day. I mean, it's the most beautiful gift that which used to enslave your day is now actually part of enriching your day, because you've lost interest and attention in it, and it keeps telling you it was a fucking great move to lose interest and attention in it. The more it's not you, the less you like it, or the less you're interested in it. It's just amazing, really. It's a maybe you had dreams when you were a young Toyota Corolla that you were going to transform into a Rolls Royce one day, but those are over. So people say, well, don't you have to get it? No, you don't. You have to get that you can't get it. That's what you get. Yeah. Like Alan Olson is our prime suspect with that. Alan Olson really, really wanted to get it, and he finally got that he's never going to get it, and he's been happier ever since. Yeah. Because of course we don't want to admit we can't get it if it was about getting something. Yes, we'll just keep on trying. But when it's not like, oh, I'm never going to get it, and you're a big seeker and you're frustrated and super pissed and you've done tons of shit and you're getting really cynical. And yet another person hearing non-duality will say the same thing, but it'll be like, hallelujah, I'm never going to get it. Fantastic. Yes? That which you're not is never going to get it. You get that. Yeah? That's what happens. You understand what you used to call you is like a mechanical activity gets triggered by conscious contact. Yeah. Haven't you ever noticed? I remember when I was 19, I met a spiritual group. The only thing I knew before that was Catholicism. Yeah. Grew up Catholic. And I met a group, spiritual group, and meditation. As soon as I met the topic, thousands of ideas about the topic downloaded. It was just like a giant, it must have been taking tons of battery space. It was just waiting for me to run. Then I had ideas of the guru, the devotee, that devotee, this, it was just insane. Where did it come from? I had no human experience of it. It was the first time I ever met this idea, yet I had tons of ideas about it. It was like, I ran into spirituality and a key on the keypad got hit. Bing! And then there was a huge download. You're telling me this is organic? It's insane. There's just a giant iCloud. I would call it the me cloud, really. There's a giant me cloud. You run into shit brought about by conscious contact, nothing with you. And then bammo, bing, tons of stuff come in. And now you're a fucking expert in shit you don't even know. It's insane. So, so this, I didn't go around. Most of what I learned was in addiction, really. And the problem with learning an addiction is usually after the addiction is when you learn it. Well, during the addiction, you're not learning anything. But if you can survive and still be here after the addiction, I would tell you, if you could set up where it wouldn't be so destructive, a 10-day cocaine retreat would do much more than a 10-day fucking mindfulness retreat or shit like that. You would see the beast in all of its ugly colors, man. I mean, literally. You would see the craving, the grasping, the da-da-dee-da. It would be beautiful, really. And it would probably cost you the same amount of money. $2,000, but you'd get an ounce of coke. And probably a lot more fun sometimes. But surviving that, I had a treasure trove of information. I just needed another way of accessing it because the head had already fucking redacted every important thing in the classifieds. So non-duality brought a new way of looking at it where it was like a German shepherd, such a novel idea. When the first book I read was Who Cares? And my head was doing the German shepherd thing a lot. And I would just put the book down. And the reaction of the mental logic to the invitation was amazing. I hadn't seen almost anything trigger that. And I knew that knew I was onto something. So I went to India to see him, Ramesh Balsekar, because he was 85. I thought he's going to die. Could have died, next few weeks. So I went there by myself and listened to satsang and shared it with people, sitting there. And then I went down to see Ramana's where he lived and everything, went in his cave, which was unbelievable. That was like a nuclear reactor. I mean, I became radioactive for probably more than one life. It was like I got irradiated with something that's going to last way past me, So, and then the dominoes just kept falling. And it wasn't like, with no one there, do you ever hear the sound of the tree? So in a way, there's not even noticing the dominoes. You notice it through observation because a change has occurred and it was sufficient even to bubble up to the surface. Yeah. And you start noticing just a lot. And what I try to capture it by was the statement traveling lighter. Yeah. Traveling lighter. Because I don't believe awareness has any value in itself, but it has a lot of value here where it can be seemingly misused or unaware of. Yes, so awareness has a huge value here. And it's brought about a traveling lighter because every one of us as an action figure have a lot of knots, yeah? A lot of knots. And the bitch about the knots is you think they've been loosened up, but then they seem to re-knot again. You know what I mean? And so it gets to be a futile endeavor in a way. But the loss of interest in self is the greatest panacea I've found throughout living day in and day out. The things that I thought would had to take like a Herculean effort came very, very easy with no effort or thought on my part. Like we say in recovery, when you really get whacked, you will be placed in a position of neutrality with no thought or effort on your part. The problem will be removed, which is awesome. Awesome. Very awesome. And to me, I have experienced that as an action figure through recovery, and it introduced me to a real level of solution that you don't find in this world. You know, when I had the sinuses the other couple of months ago, someone sent me a sinus medication and I read it and it says it will mask the symptoms. To me, that's not a solution. Yeah. Masking the symptoms is not a solution. You may call it a solution, but I don't see it as a solution. And I've been introduced to two huge solutions here. One was recovery and the other was non-duality. Yeah. And non-duality, because it's before any answer, here it's the last answer. Yeah? In time, non-duality is the last answer. If it captures you or gets you when you realize you're in the tiger's mouth, it takes away the need for any other answer. It's beautiful concerning this topic. So it's been number one on the hit parade for years now on The Last Answer. And considering I'm not looking for any other answer, it seems to be working pretty well. Yeah, yeah. Usually, I'm not going to see people. Yeah. People come and see me. I don't see people. I'm not saying, hey, bro, I'm really fucked up today. I don't feel that way. Yeah. If I'm really fucked up, I know it's not me. And so I'm really fucked up. What are you going to do? Watch Bloodline or something on Netflix. Yeah. All right. Well, if you want to open it up, Kathleen.
Sure, Paul. Thank you so much. If anybody has anything they'd like to come in and share with us or ask a question, let us know. Oh, Laurie in India would like to say something. Come on in, Laurie.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Lori. I'm living in southern India. Thank you so much, Paul. I just heard about you from another friend in recovery, and I've been, yeah,
Yeah.
the self is seeking, and what I've been finding since I started listening to you was I just want to be quiet and meditate and just be quiet and just not be engaging so much. And the other thing is this neti, not this, not that, negating that when there's a thought of me or I or whatever, just saying that, who is that? It's not me. And I'm
Yeah.
just, I mean, that's why we sit, right? Is that why we sit, to just be still and not be spending more time in silence seems to quiet that all down, right? That wanting this or thinking I'm that, asserting self. Self can disappear, but then it comes back. Is that what you were talking about with the knots? It's like,
Well,
this is just
it's
an
like,
ongoing.
it's like the mountain. First, with the understanding there is no mountain, then your reaction to when there is a mountain may be quite different than if it starts as there is a mountain. Yeah. So, and the idea of neti sometimes excludes the one who's doing the neti. That needs to be included. So the one that's going not this, not that is not you either.
Who's doing that?
Yes, you gotta, because the way, see, if it presupposes it's claiming, the way you get before it is taking a step back. Yes? Yes? So when there's not this, not that, in a second into that, the head has claimed it as you saying not this, not that. So then you see that occur. So to catch the presupposing, you don't go this way, you go back. See? And you watch the head claim whatever was happening a second or two before. Yes? And
Like a
then you'll
witness.
see, and not catch it as a thief in a while. And then because if you catch it like a thief, you're also wearing the policeman uniform. So I would hope you'll see it as mechanical. And when you see it as mechanical, when you catch it, it doesn't immediately move into the policeman uniform from the thief uniform. And now it's the one who caught the thief, yes? But they're both of the same cloth. The mechanicalness does something to the recognition, yeah? Because most of us are walking around in a very complicated net of doership, yes? And a lot of things that we have absolutely nothing to do with, the head has us feeling like we have a lot to do with, yes? And this is what causes like a dissonance when you hear the message. Because I watched it with people who had very, very incredible experiences, you know, or free samples, yeah? Yet they had this assumption that a lot of stuff that wasn't them was going to change because it was them. Because they felt they completely changed, and that included all these things that they weren't, yeah? And when the system didn't change as much as they thought it should, they disqualified themselves. Yes? Yes, it's a mental trick. So one of the big things that I sensed over time was the mechanicalness of it, and it brought about a huge relief. Yes? Yeah. So
Paul,
that which is doing the netty is also going to be nettied. Yes? Yes. And that which is observing that which was doing the netty is also going to get nettied. Yes? And after a while, because this isn't non-58, it's non-2, usually you just catch the thief and the policeman and that's it. Yeah? Not two. Not either this nor that. Not two. Yeah? And that's how, when you move forward to, doesn't work because the presupposing jump this way. So just I'm gonna just say this simply. The mental state is very fast in time, and its first move is to claim whatever the conscious contact brought it into contact with. Yes? Just simple. It's a mechanical act, react. There's no volition in it at all. There's no personalness in it at all. That's a syrup that is poured on it by the mental state, yeah? Like some molasses to give it a stickiness, but in fact, it's mechanical. So you see it, so there's a seeing, the head reacts to the seeing and says there's a seer. The emphasis leaves the seeing and gets into the seer, which is of the mental state, and then the mental state gets enlarged, yes? So seeing is only a step to being the seer. And then all the seeing will be forgotten, but the seer gets remembered through the seeing. Yes, this is how it goes. I've seen it. I've seen it in time. I've
you
seen it.
didn't have to do anything though. You
What?
didn't do anything. You didn't do anything. You
No, I
weren't
didn't.
doing anything. It just was revealed to you. You
Well,
just saw it.
being revealed because there's the mechanicalness. It's not an infinite machine. It's got it's just repetitive. It repeats a lot. Yeah. It doesn't have 800 moving parts. There's only a few moving parts. Yeah. Yeah. And you're the unmoving non-part. That is being ourselves reality. That's why you'll see movement in a different way when you see it from stillness. When you're seeing movement from movement, it's an interpretation by movement, yes? But
Got it.
when you see the movement of the head from stillness, which is our nature, it's readily available now, you see the movement and there's the download is completely different than when you were seeing the movement as a movement, yes? Yes. So, and then there's a point where the mechanicalness is obvious. And when you finally see the machine and then it says Honda in a little, little part, and you realize it's a fucking motor. Yes? You were bound to a motor. And it's it's our life force that it's fuel. Yes? Yeah. So this is about not changing any of it, but it will change because a lot of its color is produced by us. Yeah. The interest and attention gives it a deeper color. Yeah. Gives it more meaning. When that meaning and color when that meaning is retracted, you see through it quite a lot. Yeah. Yeah. It's like we was talking about the other day. If you, from a moment of time where you had no other moment before that, and you woke up and you had 8 layers of saran wrap wrapped around your face, would you ever see the saran wrap, or would you see everything through the saran wrap? If you don't know what saran wrap it is, it's like a clear, clingy type thing you put over a bowl of rice, and then when you put it in the refrigerator, right? So saran wrap, if it was so close like this, you would not see the saran wrap, yet you would see everything through the saran wrap. What happens if the possibility that, wait a minute, there could be something here, and as soon as you see that, the saran wrap moves, and now that which you could not distinguish, you see clearly. Yes? Even though it has its same quality of being transparent, it's not seen transparent anymore. You see it. This is what it's like. Yes? Being the ghost in the machine is of the machine. It's seeing it all outside the machine. Yeah? And then there's a vague, huge question mark, and that is your nameless and formless condition. You don't know what the fuck it is, and you have no interest in attempting to find out. You can't turn your head that far around. Yeah? So, and you will come to ends of things. You will. You will come to ends, or you'll be in such a lull, it would look like it's the end of things. Yeah. I mean, I am the biggest citizen of Novato, California. Completely in Novato, California. Completely. I and the couch are one right now that I'm sitting on. Yeah. There's no thought or any idea of any fucking thing else. I thought freedom was being free from that. I find freedom in it. Yeah. My idea of freedom became a bondage. The real freedom is not to get everything you want, but to be able to accept when you don't. Yes. It's just, yes. So I never wanted to be completely here. And the only reason why I can accept it because that which is completely here isn't here. It's great. All right. Well, thank you. It's nice to see you in India. Yes. That's a nice place to meditate. Yeah. It's super loud. I mean, talk about it's bombards the senses, India, I felt. I've been there a few times. It's if a lot of people really love it or they can't take it because there's so much smell and noise. You may be in the rural area. I was in Bombay. It was mind-boggling. It was like sensation every second. Yes. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, nice to meet
thank
you.
you, Paul.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
You ready for David Bitterman, Paul?
I'm never ready for David Bitterman.
Here he comes
David
anyway.
Bitterman will be. Yes. Come on, Dave.
Hey, Paul. No, it's funny you guys were just actually talking about India. When on my first, I went to India twice when I was pretty young, and I remember sitting in the meditation hall and meditating, and it was actually like being completely at peace and hearing like the kids playing and the rickshaws beeping their horn and like, the bird like echoing through the canyons. I mean, we were in Rishikesh. We were also in Delhi. But it was like there was peace, so much peace amidst all that commotion. It was beautiful. It was like a cacophony, you know? Yeah.
He's going the other way.
Anyways, I the only thing I popped in about, I think, was you were talking about the just to share, I guess, because I'd been listening to a lot of Ramesh. I'd been called to watch a bunch of his videos recently. I find him a fascinating guy. And he was talking about that whole desire to stabilize. And he actually used the term the flipping and the flopping, you know. And he had actually said, like, it's like when you come to a certain point where you see that the flipping and the flopping is part of the process. It's the flipping and the flopping is part of the functioning of the cosmic law, flipping and the flopping. When you see it's not you, but when you're on the flop, you think it's you doing it. Does that make sense?
Well, you don't think that, the head
Right,
does.
right. The head does exactly. So, but it was interesting because I've heard people kind of talk about that kind of thing subtly, like I wanted to stabilize, and I had this experience. But he talked about it just very simply as a flip and a flop, which was kind of funny to hear him talk about. And then the other thing I want to mention was I didn't know that I'd only heard the name of Wayne Lickerman a couple times. And but I know he had been like a student or at least had gone to see Ramesh. And I came across one time randomly like a video of the two of them teaching together. And they were talking, but they were also talking about how in Wayne's situation, Wayne's sadhana had been his drinking and drug using, you know? And there was a woman who was asking questions. She was very confused. She was kind of asking questions about his sadhana because she had had a different kind of trauma. She wasn't like an addict, but she had I don't know if it was abuse issues or whatever, something else. But she dug into it and was kind of confused. And Ramesh said, well, it was kind of funny because he pointed out like he said, well, in Wayne's case, his sadhana was drinking and drug using and gambling, going to the casino, and everybody had a big laugh about it in a way, there's if only he said some people who are very spiritually dedicated or whatever could be almost like incensed about that or whatever. But the reality was that for that body mind organism, that was his sadhana. But you're not gonna, like the Walmart and the toaster thing, another body mind is not gonna go repeat that and get the same result. For Wayne Lickerman, that was the sadhana. But at the same time, also everybody else from a different piece of machinery's point of view is looking, saying, oh, he was just drinking and doing drugs and partying and gambling. But this place being duality, what they don't see is that for every big smile at the gambling table with a bunch of champagne bottles is the deplorable, incomprehensible demoralization back in the hotel room or at home or wherever it is, right? Which is the nature of duality, these expressions of it. But for him, like you were saying, for him, he was able to, and I don't know his whole story, so I don't want to speak for him, but I think Ramesh was pointing the fact that he was seeing the machinery through the what could be glorified but is often actually torturous experience of his addictions.
Yes, but for people that aren't familiar with the word sadhana, that comes from India, Hindu, and it's about your path or practices or
All right. Yeah.
I think.
Yeah,
That's-
it is. It's your spiritual.
The point is, whatever you do, what you are is not a result.
What you are is not a result.
No,
Yeah.
doing does not produce the result of what you are. What you are
Right.
is prior to doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
This is point, but
I was only compelled to share.
This is like an autistic event, even though the one that's the object of it may not see it that way, but
It's
10
beautiful.
days on cocaine is a very weird autistic condition.
Yeah. No, but just the way that things show up in duality in the engine of it, the machinery, because that's the other thing that Ramesh would talk about is that each human being is a uniquely programmed biocomputer, such that its inputs and outputs are expressions of the totality, like the genetics, the bombardment of conditions. It's exactly what you said. It's an engine.
Yeah, I don't think it's that unique though.
No, it's not actually unique at all.
Maybe there's three basic car styles. It's like what they did with all the different SUVs. It's on the same truck's chassis.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
the same
No,
thing.
the human
Yeah.
machine is the same machine. Yes, 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 yes.
So,
Yeah, yeah. No, it's just got
Like-
its different flavors based on the totality because it's actually not separate.
this is a subjective experience or a subjective dreaming, yes?
Yeah, for sure.
There is some agreement of an objective reality, but the objective reality gets overrun or overruled by the subjective experience. Yeah. So the head is living in a vast mental interpretation of this event. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. Now we can be that ride. So if you look at the body has, it thinks it has choice between what ride it gets on, but it is the ride
Right.
itself.
For
The
sure.
body is the ride. Yeah. Yeah. And uh,
Yeah.
yeah, it's and a lot of great art, I'm sure, in everyone's life. Uh, when when you were being used as a brush, you probably weren't enjoying the. But there can be a lot to learn from looking at a life uh, that was brought to an incomprehensible, pitiful demoralization.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
On some level of art, that's a masterpiece.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and the theater of what you look at the theater of war and things like that. I mean, these are horrors, but yeah,
Horrible. Yes.
yeah.
So
absolutely.
thank God we are of the screen, not and seemingly in the movie.
Yep.
So whatever happens in the movie doesn't leak into the screen. It appears on it, but it does not leak into it. Yes?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. That's I love the screen idea because you would think that, it's a tearjerker, but the screen isn't wet. Yeah. And basically the biggest investment of the theater is the screen. You can get 1,000 movies and still have the same screen. Yeah. Because the screen doesn't I don't think it goes through wear and tear.
Well,
I think
not that
a
screen. Yeah.
very heavy movie, it stretches the screen.
I only hesitated because I put up 4 screens today.
Yeah, the screen has, I mean, I don't think, oh, the screen is drooping. It was Godfather 1, 2, 3 was too much for it. No, it doesn't seem to be affected whatsoever. You probably just buy one screen and that would be it. What's going on? The heaviest movie doesn't leave a mark on it. Yeah, this
Yeah.
is a heavy movie. It took me, it's going to be hours. No, it doesn't seem like the screen ran a marathon or anything else. Yeah, and that's the sense of what we are, in fact,
That's
So
the perfect metaphor. Yeah.
there's a movie like here. We believe we're a character in the movie, but we have no real evidence. We could just be space. And so our nosy little nose has stuck itself into the movie. And in that way, somehow it seemingly forgot that it's of the screen. So we keep trying to change the movie or the characters or this and that. All the while, just a little loss of interest will pull you back into the screen. Yes?
Yeah.
Yes? Even though you were still appearing in the movie, you
Right.
would have a sense of being of the screen, which
Yes.
is the traveling lighter through the movie. The movie is not what's producing the traveling lighter. It's the screen. Yes. It's knowing. Yes.
Yeah.
Very, very important in a way. You can't pull it off. See, the character in the movie wanting to be the screen
Is
is
the
more character of the movie. Yeah.
yeah.
It's a loss of interest in the character in the movie. And then the interest and attention starts broadcasting, and you realize you're of the screen.
It was interesting what you talked about in terms of being in Novato, California, because like certain things were landing of just being of
Exactly.
not you being exactly what it is. And yeah, it's the reaction to that not happening, and yeah, is just definitely traveling lighter through the thing.
Look at Zen, before enlightenment, chopping wood, carrying water. After enlightenment, chopping wood, carrying water.
Then the diffusion of that desire to be somewhere else. Yeah.
This is how the head would see it. Zen, before enlightenment, carrying wood, chopping water. After enlightenment, sacred wood and holy water. No, water and wood. No, it's radical pure water and fucking authentic first century Catholic Christian wood. No, it's just carrying wood, whatever, chopping wood, carrying water.
Yeah.
Is there any difference
Bumbling
before or
stone.
after? Hmm?
No, at one point in time you were talking about, I think it was Wayne Po or something. It might not have been him, but I think you said something like, yeah, I'm sure he was bumbling or stumbling. You're still, the machinery is still the machinery because it's not you. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Remember, the movie, which gets emphasized here in this event, it's interest and attention. Yeah. If the interest and attention is leaning into the movie, then things are taken seriously, maybe to a degree of being too serious. Yeah. If there's a leaning towards the screen, you'll travel lighter through the movie. And when the movie changes, you won't be you're not going to be like one of those guys, Chuck Norris. It's only in like war movies. Yeah. You could you can be a character in any movie. Yes. One day you're the servant, the next movie you're the master. Yes.
Right, but
Won't
yeah,
get- You won't get fucking typecast in a sense. Yeah.
yeah, because both those movements are impersonal. It's yeah, correct. I mean, yeah, it's
Go with it. Yes. So yeah, because you haven't taken the character so seriously.
yeah. So
Little-
the leaning into the movie or the leaning into the screen there's no doership in either of them.
Of course not.
Yeah,
Because one's an appearance at the same time there's the screen that everything is appearing on. Yeah.
yeah.
So in a way, being in the movie and being in the screen is the same thing. It's the attention and interest. If it's leaning to the movie idea at the expense of the screen, you'll be able to see how that goes. And then if there's a leaning into the screen, instead of being completely captured by the movie, you'll see how that goes. And you'll know the tree by its fruit. But basically, there's only the screen. The movie is just appearing on it. Yes?
Mm.
Yes. So there's no thing we're actually going into and having to get out of. It's just telling the truth that you're not, yes, you see what you're not, and then you see that you're of the screen. And in time and space, there's an appearance of a fucking movie. And it's amazing that every night you get a huge break from it. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
we all
You go to sleep, you're out to lunch, and probably that's the best time of your day
yeah.
for most people is when they're not there.
Unless your wife's in that.
So then you have that while you're there more and more. Yeah. All right.
Thank
Thanks.
you very much, Paul. I appreciate it. No,
Yeah.
I appreciate and your warnings and guideposts and signs have been just so beyond invaluable. I know it's not you, but just thank you for your sharings and your posting up and selling COD and only COD.
Well, the thing is, the message was already put out.
Yeah.
What's best to do now is put warnings.
Yeah.
Because the message without warnings is going to be neutered. It's
Yeah.
going to be claimed, and the person's going to not even notice it, and the hearing will become the hearer.
Mm.
Yeah, and then yes, and I just when I hit, when that became obvious, whatever was going on told me, don't move from this point, because if you don't see this, you're looking from it. It's
Wow.
just that simple. So we try to
makes-
break it
yeah.
down a lot of ways, but in time, the quickest process I feel is the mental process of claiming what conscious contact brings it into into the situation. Yes. So seeing is used to imply the seer. So the seeing claimed, there's a presupposing that there was a seer before the seeing. Yes, it's all manufactured. That's why dreaming it has time and space, because none of this shit could really actually happen. But it needs time and space to seem like it happens. Yeah. And
Yeah.
most people are now saddled that they already are something they'd like to get out of. Yes. And then the trying to get out of it reinforces the misunderstanding that they already are it. The head is telling you shit that isn't true. Yeah. It cannot make a self. So it implies that it already is one. It cannot make a self. It can't create shit. So it implies there's already one. If you asked it, all right, make a self, it cannot. All it can do is imply there already is one. You're the one that gives life to the idea. Yeah. Yeah. Everything here is like, it's like given light. The light is given without knowing. Yeah. And so this is the understanding. And understanding can bring stuff that was not known into a sense of knowing. And in that knowing, a lot gets revealed. Yes? Yes.
Very
Yeah.
much so. Yeah. And then the warnings, they just sparked additional
Yeah,
understanding.
it happened tons of times with me.
Time.
I
Yeah.
heard a great message once that you're not a body. It reverberated for a few hours. It was unbelievable. And then a couple hours later, the body was thinking it's not a body.
Yeah.
No idea. It was like a knockout punch, and it still got up.
Yeah.
So I fucking realized something. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna say you're not a body because without warnings, because what's gonna hear that is the body identification, and it's gonna really make a weird thing out of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a person trying to be a not body as a body? It's fucking crazy.
Not being not self as a self.
That's sort of creepy in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we thank you for your services and your warnings because they're invaluable.
Great. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you Bruce, so much. Hey,
Well, heed them. That's why I'm giving them in a sense. I heeded the warnings here and I'm passing it on.
well, and they go into the system, and then when they're ready to, they play their role.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Paul. Have a great night.
Appreciate it.
Glad to be here. Thank you. Oh,
Yes.
cheers.
All right. So is that it, Kathleen, or anyone else? No? Oh, great. I was going to go off on a riff, but I think it's good time to stop. No.
Kathleen.
Kathleen has no. I wanted to go with the people that have been here early. The lady from India. I just want to put out an idea, which is in time, I believe the quickest process in time is the mental process of claiming. Yes. And from that point, something that's not true is taken to be true or presupposed to be true. And then we now start as an existent thing. That's when we start, really. When you wake up, there's usually a period of time, there's no one, and then there's a you. Yes? Yes. So this you is sort of like the starting of the day, but the day starts before the you in a weird way. Yep. But let's just go with this. So this idea of being the existing thing is so quick, and it gets reinforced, obviously. Whatever it's brought into contact, it claims it to keep referring back to this idea of the non-existent thing as being an existent thing. And I believe that no process in time can beat that process in time. I just don't, I cannot see it. So no matter, you may try to do the fastest, most radical thing, but you'll probably be held as being the thing doing that radical, most fastest thing. Yes? So, and I believe that the first process, its idea infects the processes that come after. Yeah. So the idea of you trying to get out of you gets inserted, which is like it's the pill of failing already. Yeah. And I do not believe that the processes after have much influence on the first process, but I do believe the first process infects all the other processes. Yeah. So you'll be trying to get out of self as the process go. Yeah. More subtly or more crudely or whatever. And self will not be able to get out of self, and it will go on and on and on. Just like if that which is playing God tries to quit playing God, that's playing God. Yeah. So if you see it, the mental process, it's different than looking from it. When you're looking from it, you're never going to see it. When you see it, you're going to realize you're not that which is looking from it. Yeah, that's the simple message. And I humbly, over these years of entertaining it and watching other people, I haven't had any big rebuttal of it. It just feels like, so when your ass is going down to the meditation pillow, your head has you as a meditator. Yes. And then the frustration is if there's any movement to get anything of trying to get out of something through meditation, you're captured by the identity as a meditator. Yes, it's crazy. So is it you? No, it's not. It's mechanical. It's quick, but you are before it. That's the beauty. Yes. This is what finally the great revelation is, you weren't where you thought you started. You're before it. You're before time. You are before time. You access before time. Where do you think intuitive thoughts come from and tons of stuff like this? Yes, they come from before time. So here we are in before time, and now we see with this invitation, hopefully, or whatever works, we'll see that which we used to look from. So we will actually find the true starting point, which isn't a starting point, yes? But by recognizing the bogusness of what we thought the starting point was, yeah? You can see this in simple examples. When people first heard this idea of selfing, they would get in touch with me. And I got two versions of, man, I really got what you were talking about selfing. And the selfing has been driving me crazy. Yeah. Or, oh, I got what you were talking about and I've been selfing all day. No, they didn't get it. Yeah. You see, they felt like they were the one that was doing the selfing or being done to by the selfing. That's the product of the selfing, the feeling of being the one. Yes. Either one being done by it or doing it. This is the bondage of it. Yes. Yes. So, all right. Thanks. All right. So let's say goodbye. Frank, pleasure. Keep traveling. Just stock up with mayonnaise. David Bitterman, pleasure as always. Raven, I'll see you in 5 years, Raven. Eh? Come by. Yeah, hopefully sooner. John, Florida. Sarah and Charles. Wow. Yes, nice to see both of you. Thank you. Stephen Mack. Anu, as always. Yeah. Do I have to beg to see you anew? I hope not. Don't bring me down to that, please.
I'll be there in a few weeks.
All
I'd
right.
love to see you too, Paul.
All right, good. Marl, nice to see you, honey. Yep. Rick Rowe, Toronto. Yeah, a brother from another mother. Kenneth, William Stamps. We got Laurie in India. Thank you, Laurie, for bringing a little of the motherland to us. Yeah, we always love to hear from India and not be there really. Oh, no, I like India, but Judy Love, nice to see you, hon. Chris H, Chris Snap, James Olson, Alan Olson, Al Gertis. I think I got it good there. Yeah, good. Annette, calm down, chill, very good. Ernie, a bit of willingness goes a long way, Ernie. Kerry, our man in Hawaii. Yeah. Now you could be in an outpost called Staten Island. Kerry's got a plum job over there representing Zen Bitch Slap in Hawaii. Pretty nice.
Paul, it's not as easy as it looks, trust me.
We can't give you a raise. We can't give you a raise yet. David, nice to see you down under. Christopher Key Lago. Yes? Or just Key Log? I like Key Lago. Well, I think we got everyone. Christopher, Floyd. Oh, Floyd, nice to see you, Floyd. Always a pleasure. Hari.
Hi,
Is it-
Paul.
Hari, you got a light coming right through you. Reminds me of the movie The Omen. You better watch out. And you know they see the pictures and there's a thing going through the priest. I just saw it. Does anyone see it? Yeah, see, there's
I see it. I see it. We watch too many horror movies, that's the thing.
It's Omen 3. It's Omen 3. Jesus Christ, I'll have to get to Portland. We've got to stop this.
Floyd had some light hitting him too. He's out.
Ever see that movie, The Omen, where the photographer goes back and he was talking to this guy, and then he does the picture, and there's this thing just like this,
Yeah.
getting close to him, and then he does it the next day, and it's closer.
Uh-huh.
All
It's
right,
been a long time, but I do
I'm
remember.
gonna watch that movie tonight. I'm taking it as a sign to watch the
You
movie.
watch The Omen? Oh no.
Nice to see you, Eric. Hey, yep. Thank you, everyone. It's a pleasure. We'll be here tomorrow on recovery. Yeah. And so thank you. Thank you so much. Kenneth. Oh, did miss Kenneth. Kenneth in Vancouver. Nice to see Kenneth. And if I missed you, it was just by mistake. Don't take it personally. Yes. All right. I'll see everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Paul.
Thanks.
Yes.
Thanks, Kathleen.
Paul,
Thanks, everyone.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Paul.
Change our clocks,
Thank
Eric.
you.
Oh, do some people change today,
Their
Kathleen?
clocks,
We changed last night. Or was it? No, a couple nights.
Saturday night. So that's why some people, I think, thought they were
Oh,
going for the start of this meeting.
okay. I'm in such a tumbler with my schedule. I never know what's up and down anyways, but yeah.
David, I sent you a message. You must not have got it.
No, I didn't. I've been in a crazy work tumbler spiral. Was it on, you sent me a text message?
I sent you a message on WhatsApp.
Oh, on WhatsApp. I think I might have, I don't use WhatsApp very much, and I think
Oh,
somehow notifications have gotten turned off on it, so that's why I think.
maybe I can just ask you now.
Yeah.
I was trying to find out about what
East
dates
Coast
you were
trip.
planning on being over in
Yeah. So right now, like there's so many unknown variables because our son he's finishing AIT, so he's in the Army, he's done his basic training, he's in his advanced individual training, and he's coming back on April 11th, and he's only here for 2 weeks before he ships out to Colorado. And I've also got another friend from out of town who's coming into town so there are a lot of variables, but we have to shoot down to Jacksonville and visit Natalie's parents sometime around the end of March and early April. So the dates are getting very
I don't think you're going to make it, David.
I'm feeling that there's a chance I might not, and I'm really super bummed about that because I wanted to bounce out and see you guys. But if there ends up being the possibility of like bouncing somewhere for 2 days or something like that. But I'll have a lot of other things tugging on me in other directions too. Yeah. But
Yeah,
I
it's fine.
really, really, really hope like I might even be able to break out for a couple of days. But if it doesn't happen, it'll happen other way when it's meant to happen.
Right, but it's not something you'll plan ahead or that you'll be looking for housing for or anything.
Yeah, at this point, there are too many variables. So when
Right.
I hear you, if you kind of keep me in the loop, if there's some groups doing things, but it'll be more like when I hear the dates crystallizing as far as like the actual events go. So keep me tuned if there are any meetings, because I'm thinking it might be more on the fringes of the thing, like
Mhm.
where I may have some flexibility, but it also might be out of the cards too. But
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I understand. I will. I don't think we have anything organized yet. I think that Paul and Amelia are just going to go stay with Mike. I don't know what's happening with Mia.
okay,
So,
and that's why I was so
I was just doing some preliminary research.
yeah,
Find out
yeah.
what everybody's
And
doing.
I was
I
so
don't,
bummed too because like I thought Natalie was gonna be able to come, and then I heard
yeah,
Amelia was coming, and I would have loved for them to meet, and all
yeah,
that. Like I don't, yeah. But Natalie for sure with the boys being here and it is so much rotation around them. Like, so our other son, our
I do
oldest,
it.
is just got taken into the Air Force. He's doing his Rangers test and stuff. We have a lot of military family and things, but for the boys in their particular situations, it's actually perfect situations. So, but
Mhm.
so yeah, he's about to go into basic training shortly. So we've got to see him on that curve. So Mama Bear's got to do all, yeah. So she's not going to be
Okay.
going anywhere with me. And if I show up, it'll be for like a day, or a couple.
Yeah, I got you. Gotcha. Okay,
I wish
David.
I could be there because I love being support staff and rolling down the road and you know,
It's fun. It's
up the
fun.
computers and doing all, yeah, anything I can do to help. I'd love to be there to be able to help.
I
So.
know. I know. It's okay. It's okay. I'm sure he'll get what he needs.
Yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure. But do keep me tuned because if I could bounce out, I mean, Detroit, we're used to driving. We're Motor City. We're used to driving. So like if
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
bounce out to something in 72-hour window, even if it's a crazy amount of driving, I'll do
Well,
it.
you let me know if that happens.
Yeah.
Just through messages. Doesn't have to be WhatsApp. Just let me know.
Okay.
And and
That's perfect.
yeah, we'll just keep in
Yeah.
touch with that. That goes that way. Thank you, David. Oh, I never stopped that recording.